Welcome back to your digital consultation. Let's continue with part 2 of our real estate consultation series. What's better to invest, in a villa or an apartment? Now, this is a question I get all the time, and the answer, well, it really depends on the timing and on the market demand, which has been changing quite a bit. Let's go back about 5 years. At the time, the most liquid and profitable type of property in Dubai for platforms like Airbnb was the one-bedroom apartment. Studios followed closely behind. They were small, easy to rent, easy to flip, and ideal for short-term lets. Since COVID, something interesting has happened. Every single year, we've seen increasing demand for larger properties, and not just slightly larger, significantly larger. So what does that mean? It means that in 2024, the properties with the highest occupancy rates and best rental returns across Booking.com, Airbnb, and other UAE rental platforms were 2-bedroom apartments and villas with 3 bedrooms or more. Why does this matter to investors? Because it changes the strategy. In the past, especially for larger investors, the goal was to buy as many small units as possible. I used to recommend that myself. But the recommendation today is shifting. What we're seeing now is that the smart money is going into 2 or 3 bedroom apartments, or even more so, 3, 4, and 5 bedroom villas. Why? Because the demand is stronger, not just in terms of resale and appreciation, but also in rental performance. And that applies not only in short-term rentals, but also to long-term rentals. More families are relocating to Dubai, more professionals are working here seasonally, often 6 months or more per year. And those people need space, they want a proper home. But aren't smaller units still easier to sell? Yes, and that's a good point. Studios and 1-bedrooms are always more liquid simply because of the price point. They're accessible to a much wider pool of investors. You can sell them faster, and that makes them appealing, especially to first-time investors or those working with a limited budget. But here's what's important to understand. In the last few years, more than 4,000 millionaires per year have moved to Dubai and taken up residency. Dubai now has the highest net inflow of high net worth individuals in the world. So what does that create? A growing and consistent demand for larger, high-end properties, especially in the luxury villa and branded apartment segments. And here's where it gets interesting. Supply hasn't kept up. How limited is the supply of luxury and beachfront property? Let me give you a real number. Out of roughly 800,000 properties in Dubai, only around 35,000 are actually beachfront. That's just 5% of the market. So when you look at branded or waterfront properties like those at Emaar Beachfront, Blue Waters Island, or Palm Jumeirah, especially in the villas, the supply is extremely limited. And naturally, when you have high demand and limited supply, prices go up. We've already seen excellent appreciation across these areas, not just because of the brand or the location, but because there's simply not much like it available. So, apartment or villa? Honestly, both can be great investments, but it depends on the area and your objective. A well-located 2-bedroom apartment in a branded community can outperform a random villa in the middle of nowhere. And a beachfront villa in Palm Jumeirah Ali, for example, will beat almost anything on ROI and prestige if you can get your hands on one. So it's not about villa versus apartment, it's about which product in which community with which developer, and most importantly, at what entry price. Anything else to consider? Yes, one final bonus point. The luxury segment in Dubai has always attracted global attention. It's no secret. Dubai is now a global brand when it comes to ultra high-end living. And even though prices per square foot have gone up, we're still way below cities like London, Paris, New York, or even coastal cities in Europe. So the upside is still strong. Why? Because of Dubai's infrastructure, the planning of master communities, the zero income tax, and the sheer pace of development. The government knows what it's doing, and it's building long term. So yes, even at a higher price, there is real value. And that's something we'll cover in more depth in an upcoming video comparing Dubai's price per square foot with global markets. We'll also look at which areas of Dubai are overvalued and which ones are undervalued. If you're trying to decide what's right for you, apartment or villa, 1 unit or multiple, ready or off plan, message us on WhatsApp. We'll go through your goals and your budget, and I'll help you structure the investment in a way that makes sense for you in the long term. And I'll see you in the next consultation.